Last month on X, 24-year-old artist Slawn caused an outburst on Twitter with his painting. Not just because he painted blacks as monkeys and auctioned it off at Sotheby's for over £30,000, but also because he named the piece The Three Yoruba Brothers. He didn't just stop at the title, he literally called each one of the monkeys Alara, Ajero, and Orogun. Now, last week I was on a visit to Gbolahan Ayoola studio and the conversation came up. This is what he had to say.
This guy left Nigeria when he was 5, right? It's a Yoruba guy. He made a painting. From what I noticed, like researching his page, he's created this icon, this smiley icon. And he made a painting using that, and he's always used that icon to make different
as a signature
paintings and whatever. So, but he used that icon this time around and made it like 3 black figures, but they look like monkeys, right? The names that he gave them, it's like 3 sons of Yoruba, of Oduduwa. Ajero, Orogun, and there's a third one. If it comes to me, we'll talk about it. And of course, the work was auctioned and it was sold and blah, blah, blah. And blacks are very angry that he portrayed us as monkeys. And everybody had been insulting the guy. I said to myself when I saw the image, in fact, it was shared to me by someone who wanted me to give a reaction on WhatsApp. And I believe what that person wants me to say
is to
insult the guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I said, let me think about it. The first thing I did was I was asking questions. Why? Why was this made in the first place? The fact that this guy even named the 3 of them this very important Yoruba names means he's knowledgeable. So that's not accidental, right? So in terms of the story about identity, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He did some research on who he really is. Why then would you paint this as a British black guy?
Knowing the delicate line of racism and all of that.
So I said, instead of insulting this guy, I'd rather ask questions. So I put some questions together and I was expanding on those questions. And I started thinking a bit more. This guy is probably not the first black person to have insulted black people, right? What's the big deal about black insulting black? We do that all the time. Fela called our military zombie, right? Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, meaning you're behaving like a slave. Malcolm X said, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in the book. Questioning our level of literacy and interest in literature.
Absolutely.
These are very deep, witty insults.
To
a people. He doesn't know our trade. I didn't see anybody saying anything. What's the big deal about these guys? Calling us monkeys. What's wrong with being a monkey anyway? I think we call ourselves leopards and lions and everything. So we call ourselves animals anyway. What's so wrong about being a monkey? And in the scheme of things, right, I think monkeys are actually very smart and intelligent.
Absolutely.
Like, they're almost like us. I was like, what's so bad about being called? If there's nothing wrong about being called an animal, why would it be wrong to call myself an animal that is even smart? I think the real problem is the origin of calling ourselves monkeys. It's not a problem when we call ourselves monkeys, right?
It's a problem when the white man calls us monkey.
Oh, I see. So there's nothing wrong with being called a monkey. It's who calls you a monkey that's the problem. I see. Okay. So now, if the white guy calls me a monkey, right? In his mind, he thinks a monkey is limited. A monkey is a fool. Why? Because of Darwin's theory of evolution. So I said, Darwin's theory of evolution it makes it an insult to call us a monkey because
it's a downgrade.
After the monkey, right, then humans begin to evolve, right? Okay. So if a guy likens me to that state and says you have not grown, you're that state, you're a monkey. That's him trying to insult me. I don't feel it as an insult. Why? Because I have grown beyond that. Clearly. And he can see that I have. If not, we will not even be having this conversation. Okay. So an insult is not the truth.
It's a reaction to it.
An insult is actually a falsehood meant to trigger you.
Yeah.
An insult is not
the truth.
Right? So if it's not the truth, I'm not going to be triggered. Good. If it's an insult, I'm prepared for it.
Oh.
Because if you call me a monkey, I can say, well, you're a dog too.
So you're pig.
You're a pig, you know. Because historically, you guys used to eat dirt. So you haven't grown from eating dirt too. You're still as dirty as your ancestors. I can say that as well, right? But clearly, they've grown beyond that. So it's false food. It shouldn't trigger. I said the problem with this guy's work is because of the origin of who called us monkey. It pains a black person when a white person insults them. You know why? It is not because of anything. It is because you feel some sense of truth. If you feel a sense of truth in what a white person is saying to you, then you have not truly evolved. And I think that's what you should deal with, not the insult. You have to actually emancipate yourself from that mental slavery. You have to stop behaving like a zombie. This is what is triggering you. It is not the insult. It is the origin of that insult.
That makes so much sense.
So I said to myself, I don't see anything other than what this truth that this boy has painted. How are we going to deal with it?
Would it have changed if it was a black artist that painted it that didn't have a
I just
British
told
connection?
you 3 popular influential blacks have insulted us. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
This guy, Ogbemi Hema, is an artist. He lives here in Lagos. He paints humans as monkeys all the time.
Right?
In fact, he has auctioned those monkey works at the art house auction here in Lagos. He has exhibited Blacks as Monkey series many years, many times. I didn't see no outrage. So the only outrage is because this guy is in England.
It's the trigger.
That's the only outrage. So it's the source of the insult that is your problem. It's not the insult itself. And that is exactly how a monkey will behave. When you're not focusing on what is important, you're behaving like a circus animal. You see, if you watch the circus very well, every time those guys commanding animals, they have a stick. They poke them. They poke them to see how to make them behave. How long are you going to be bound
by that reaction?
By that poking from your white guy, calling you first of all what you are not, which is a clear falsehood that you are not it, but yet they can control you.
A simple example again is like nigger. Like we can call ourselves nigger all the time, but
that word, the origin is from the white guy, right? That word has no problem when we as blacks call ourselves. But because the origin of that word is from a white guy, white guys today, 2024, are not allowed to say it. This is the word that they created. A black guy didn't create that word. That word was created by white people. But they are not even allowed to say that word again in 2024. So I said, that word was created by them to dehumanize, to derogate us, whatever, right? Why is that word now still existing? If they who created it are not allowed to say it anymore. You know why it exists? Because us who they created it for won't stop saying it.
So are you emancipated?
Who's the monkey now? You don't like it. We have stopped saying it. We created it. We've stopped saying it. You don't like it. Who is still saying it? The person that doesn't like it. Make it make sense.
I'm so amused by your philosophy around it. And it's exactly because we don't have this brutal truth with ourselves, it's why we're just simply reactional and not really.
We want to progress, but we don't want to question anything.
We return to the same circle.
Who makes progress without questioning your own existence and what you believe in? How is the wheel going to spin if nobody goes and spins it? The only thing that spins human philosophy is questions of your own existence and beliefs. That nigger one is extreme madness. Somebody calls you a bastard, right? You want to kill the person. Person said, I'm never going to call you a bastard again. But you go out, you see your brother, and say, what's up, bastard? You good? Fuck, you wanted to kill somebody just yesterday?
Right.
But yeah, I'm allowed to say it because we're allowed to call each other that. What's the meaning of the word? It didn't even come from you. What's the meaning again? What's the meaning of the word nigga again? Oh yeah, those white colonialists, they used to call us, you know. Is that how you'll be telling a stranger the meaning of that? Let's say aliens come now from Mars and you're a black guy.
This is my nigga.
You ought to say, oh, the alien says, what's the meaning of that? So you have to keep reminding this alien who has no knowledge of who you are, no knowledge of your history, right? You would use your mouth to tell this alien that your lineage was once slaves. The white guy didn't say that.
It is you that continues perpetuating that history.
Yourself. We blame the white guy. We say they rewrite their own history. They change a lot of things all the time to favor them, right? I said, what's wrong in that? Why do you want people to know your own shit?
Absolutely not.
You want people to know your own dirt? You want the white guy to tell you that incest was a thing for them, that their royals were sleeping with each other. You want them to be telling you that? Why do they want to tell you that? What good is that to them? But you want to remind everybody that you're a slave by continuing using the word nigger. Maybe it's good for you. Maybe you really like it. That's you. If you cannot erase that part because you want to use maybe as an excuse for something you're chasing, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but own it. Own it. Own that your reason and that your excuse. Own it, but don't Don't complain the adverse effect that it might have. And don't point fingers at other people and say, no, but you change your history. Yeah, that's what smart people do. Everybody paints a good history of themselves. That's what smart people do. If you don't want to, don't blame me for doing it. Why are you buying a car? A horse is okay. So says my neighbor. Oh, good for you. You want to ride on the horse? It's good for you. I want to ride in a car. And I want to tell everybody I've never ridden a horse before. I want my history to start from technology. Oh, you're a liar. Yes, that's what human beings do. We all lie. If the world is about truth, then why do you have the haves and the have-nots? Why? Why do you have wars if the world is about the truth? Why do you have government? Why? Why do you have leaders and followers if the world is about the truth? Who is leading who? Who has enough to even lead anybody? If the world is about the truth, who has the right to lead anybody? The wisdom to lead you, right, is your wisdom that I see that you don't see. So I take it, I put it together, and put it back to you, and you think it's coming from me. It's a lie. That's what artists do all the time. We don't do anything new. We don't paint what you don't know. We don't create what you don't know. We create exactly what you're giving us. We put it in a different light, and we show it back to you. And you call us genius.
Absolutely.
Who's the real genius here? You better know it's you. You can blame the white for whatever way they behave and everything. Another thing I've learned is there's nothing they are doing to you that they've not done to themselves. They've burned down their own civilizations. They've ended some of their own civilizations. They've conquered, they've massacred their own in millions. You have to go back to the history of how the Romans were dealing with the Brits and dealing with the Celts and all those people. They call them...
I love that our conversation quickly moved from Slawn to the true root of this outburst. It is racism, it is history, it is slavery, it is rewritten and unwritten history. Listen to this.
There's nothing they didn't do to themselves. They were cannibals. They ate themselves. You understand what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that is their history. We didn't even do that. I mean, we did maybe some of that, but we didn't do as much as them. They have worse, dark, dirty history than we do. They had plagues. Those plagues were happening because they were dirty. They didn't have water. They didn't clean. We didn't have that. So they're from the gutter. They're from the worst of the worst situations. Whatever it is they are calling civilization today is because they recognize it. Because they know what they were not. But it's good for them because they never shy from who they are. They quickly change their own history, they quickly rewrote things because they wanted something better. They wanted to adjust. And us, what are we doing? We want to hide from our own history. We don't want people to know who we are, and we are keeping words like nigger. Very bad word, derogatory word, and we are keeping it alive by ourselves. And we think it's even a joke. Comedians use it a lot. We think it's funny to remind ourselves that we were once slaves.
I don't need to tell you how much I took away from this conversation. With his ongoing show with Fresco Gallery, I was able to finally grasp how critical Ayoola's mind worked. So I closed the conversation on what informed his choices, from the series of prints to the title of this ongoing exhibition. I'm curious about the body of work you're sharing with Fresco. What informed your choices in terms of
which ones to pick?
Yeah. And what did you really wanted? Which body of work did you wanted people to connect with the most?
The We Are Reagent series and the Blue Woman series. Okay. And it's simply because Those are my last two shows. So I just feel that people will connect more with them because, you know, they are known already. People are familiar with them, and, you know, they can just pick up on the story, because I don't really want to be telling no new message. I prefer the messages that have been told are clearly understood first, you know, before moving to another sermon, if you understand what I mean.
Absolutely.
So they are from the We Are Radiant series and the Blue Woman series, the two that are being featured in the Prince show.
Solitude, the fortunate, loneliness of being on the path less traveled.
Yes.
Like, what informed that title?
First of all, I chose solitude because I like being alone a lot. I get my most from being alone. The process of my work is, first of all, being with people. But during the making of my work, being alone is great. And sometimes when I'm reflecting, being alone is very great as well, because then you're alone, you're like kind of like making a puree of everything that you have gotten, you know,
Yes.
I'm trying to process it.
Observe that.
Then also, all my thoughts, my philosophy and stuff that I believe in, I'm beginning to see that it's not quite popular. You know, my opinions are not quite popular. So if I don't make up my mind that I have to stand my ground and be on my own, if I'm looking for people to accept and give some validation, I will not be able to achieve anything. So I begin to value, you know, that path less traveled, because, you know, sometimes people don't want to do things like that because you'll be called crazy, you'll be called, you might even fail, you might be called whatever, you know. So I'm like, you know, it's a path less traveled, and it's a period of solitude. But if you want it, you have to even pursue that path. You have to be happy wanting to be there. You have to be happy wanting to be singled out. You have to be happy wanting to be unpopular. Infamous, maybe. You know, you have to really want to be that type of person. Even though it hurts you, even though it might hurt people around you, your family, people that you love, but you have to understand the most important thing is actually why you're created in the first place. You see, people talk about Christ and love and whatever. People don't even research how much Christ's family suffered. We all like what he did for the people. How he healed that person and preached on the sermon and whatever. How much time did he spend with his family again? How much miracles did he do for his cousins, his nephews, his in-laws, not in-laws, but his blood-related people? How much time did he spend at home? He just shot 33 years. How much of that was documented? And how much of that was given to his message and to his people as opposed to his family? Everybody likes the good guy because the good you get from the good guy. But nobody actually wants to be the good guy because of the cost of being the good guy.
And the cost of being the good guy is taking that solo road.
Part of the cost of being the good guy is understanding that you will be rejected. Understanding that people that you're trying to do it for will not value it. Understanding that they would hate you more. See the Pharisees and Sadducees, they killed him. He was bringing them salvation. They killed him. This is a fucking joke. Yes, but it must be understood that if you're giving something, it's not for you. Art, for example, any form of it, music, acting, whatever, any sort of thing that you have to produce to pass a message, writing books, whatever, it's not for you. It's for the people that would criticize it and say no. And that's okay. There's a work in the show. I titled this The Happiness of Pursuit.
So a friend of mine said, did you get the title wrong? I said, no. The pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
Is relatable, right? To a lot of people.
Yeah.
You want something and you're going after it. It's easy. I am saying you also have to flip it. You have to be happy, right? Even doing the pursuit.
It's like enjoy that process.
Yeah.
And I think that's very ultimate for me myself, because I often like have a discussion around the fact that if I die tomorrow, I'm going to be genuinely okay that I've lived my life to the fullest, because I genuinely believe that I'm present in my process, I'm presently enjoying where I'm at, versus waiting till I'm mega successful, mega rich, or mega somewhere. Moving from, oh, you can just afford my work, you're buying my work, yeah. But like, I'm making this accessible to you because I want you to take this away. What's that?
I think sacrifice is the word that I would want them to take away. That would be the lesson. Sometimes you have to do some things that might not benefit you as much as what you would always get. But again, there should also be joy in sacrifice, no? If you take a, let me put it like this, you know boxers, right? You can lose and earn more, right?
Right. Absolutely.
That's pretty much what I'm saying. Oh, so maybe this show is not like, oh, my normal type of show or my normal type of works where I would probably earn X against this and whatever. But I'm taking this route because, you know, it's not really now monetary gain, but it is value of feeling. So this show becomes a sold out one of the series and all the editions are sold. It's not going to be money for me, but it's going to be the feeling now. That's why I'll pop the champagne, because I'll be like, oh, now I feel good with myself. I've been able to reach more people. So sometimes sacrifices have to be made to get feeling. You know, not everything money in the bank. Sometimes feeling is equally as good. Some people die for just wanting to have feeling of worth, feeling of purpose, you know?
Absolutely.
Some people want that.
I hope you enjoyed watching this, because I intend to bring you more insight from the art and design world. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notification. Bye for now.